I'm back, people. I made it. I made it. My fault. The wife sent me a message from the other room to go to the supermarket very, very quickly. And I didn't see it until the last minute. But thankfully, the supermarket was dead. And I've managed to get dinner in. So the family is all sweet. And I've managed to get back in time for the community, people. Wow. So, yeah, we're going to do this one. Obviously, this one's about 30 minutes. We'll do about 30 minutes. We'll touch on everything, people. I know that you've just seen me, and then now you've gone around the corner and you've seen me again. However, it was all love, people. All love. So, I imagine the same faces are back. Let me see. Chris is back. I thought Real Madrid was supposed to be skin. How they afford 130 million? That's what we'll touch on. Chris has also put, yes, we all make mistakes. Which particular mistakes you had in mind? Wearing green socks with purple shorts. Oh, Harold, someone's put, oh, Harold, can you believe it? Buenos Aires, Fran, putting in the work today. Respect, brother, respect. Yeah, we've got to put the work in, as you know, do the watch along as well. Welcome back. Feels like I've just left you, people. Ashton, I believe Ralstonelli in connection with Paris brand envelopes business. Definitely, 100%. Back again. Fran, back again. Yeah, so we're back again. We did mention in the video, didn't we, the stream that we'll keep that one as an Arsenal review, and then we'll come back in and we will do a quick transfer one. You know, let's just go on about the transfer one. And I mean, quickly, let's start with, I think let's start with the Harry Kane situation. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, people? Honestly, what are your thoughts on this? Sean saying, laugh aloud, the only thing Kane will be lifting is a duster in the Spurs trophy room. Is the PS5 still here, people? The PS5 is still here. It came this morning. Oh, it's a big box, isn't it? It is a big box. It came this morning, people. And I wanted to keep it myself. However, from a beautiful community who have supported me from day dot, which has been absolutely magnificent, I think someone deserves this lucky thing now. So it'll come in handy for a lot of people, that's for sure. But it came this morning. So, you know, look out. We're going to do it right at the end of the month. I think it will line up perfectly with everything else. So we will see a couple of new ones come in the chat today, which is great to see, rather than the earlier ones. So DJ, he's come in, he say, Wagwan Fran, aka Joe Budden. Joe Budden one's been sticking. Oh, Andre. Buenos Aires, but Fran, your wife sent you to the supermarket so she can play the PS5 for a bit. She wanted to know what all the fuss was about. Back again, yeah. And then we're gonna have a watch along as well, people. Whoa, we'll have a watch along, but like you say, it's good vibes. It's his own fault. He should have a buyout clause. So let's talk about Harry Kane. One of my friends earlier, I don't know if he's messaged me back. He's a Liverpool fan. He's an actor. He's been on EastEnders, a few things like that, Sky Sports, all these kind of things, right? Whatever he's been on. And he phoned me, and he's not even an Arsenal fan. And he was absolutely so emotional on the phone. The anger which was coming out of him, I had to say to him, relax, relax. Don't let the anger get in the way. But he was fuming that Kane has kind of backed down, and I'm with, there's always a balance in there. We've always got to look at it from both point of views. Some people will say, right, he's backed down, he's weak, it's a weak mentality, he's not ambitious enough. And then on the flip side, he's dealing with Daniel Levy, who's got small man syndrome, very egotistical personality, very harsh businessman. And quite interestingly, there's a book that I read. Here we go, people. There's a book that I read, and called, I don't, maybe some of you have read this book. I'm not sure whether you've read this book. So, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. It's one of the most best-selling books worldwide for a very long time. And in that book, there's a lot of laws and there's a lot of things that I don't really think. I don't really want to be that type of person. And then I read a review on it. Well, not a review, but someone was dissecting the book not long after, and they were saying that basically we don't understand the rules and the language of the powerful people. They kind of do things in a completely different way to the normal person. They kind of do things in a completely different, immoral way, but in a smart way. And that then leads me to Daniel Levy and these business people that they work in a completely different way. And one of the examples was one of the guys he went to work for, I think it was Google at the time, and he was a young lad, and he went in and he was in a board meeting, and he literally could not get his head around and understand the way that these people were talking. He thought it was very, very ruthless. And he quickly learned that that's how powerful people talk. That's how powerful people do business. And I believe that these people, you Levy's or the Abramovich, etc., they're very, very powerful people. And they've learned along the way by things like 48 laws of power. And they've really implemented all these things to make them the way that they are. So they have a completely different way of dealing with business. So I think that it's okay as saying that, you know, well, Kane should have stuck to his guns. At the end of the day, Kane signed a stupid contract with, it sounds like and seems like, a very, very stupid brother as an agent. To be honest, Ashton's put, he loves that book. Great book, 48 Laws of Power. In fact, no, I'm going to disagree. I don't think it was a great book because a lot of the things I didn't agree with. However, once I read this, watched this other interview and someone explained the book to me and the rules, how they come across a bit wrong at times, it is the language of power. I then started to get my head around it. But a lot of people would say that, you know, he's not a winner, for example. You know, he's lost his battle to even leave. You know, it's very, very tricky when it comes to these situations, because at the end of the day, he's got a contract for maybe another 3 or 4 years. He signed a monster deal. The only thing is whether he had a gentleman's agreement, and that wasn't obviously didn't prevail, etc. Then that is a little bit of an issue. That I think that's probably where the standoff was. But I mean, if his brother's the agent, he's just sorted his brother out. Let me be your agent. It's probably his only client. He only ever needs to be his client. But they've got it all wrong when it comes to this. And now someone was saying on TalkSport, Simon Jordan, etc., was dissecting the fact that he said this summer and he may be gone in January, etc. Now, I can't see Man City waiting for Chelsea to basically try and take over the league until January and then sign someone. So the thing with Harry Kane and for me, I think that it was gone about all in the wrong way. The way that I would have been, and the way that, say, for example, Mino Raiola was his agent, it would not have got to this. It would have been dealt with very early. And Mino Raiola, as you know, if people don't know, I've dealt with Mino Raiola before via telephone. And he was not a nice person to deal with. I can tell you that. And that relates back to the language and the actions of powerful people, how they are, you know, ruthless, straight down the middle, and goes back to the meaning and the definition of that book, the 48 Laws of Power. And I think Kane and his brother basically just had to take defeat in this. I really, really do think they had to take defeat in this. And now Kane looks like a little bit of an idiot. How will the Spurs fans be with Kane? I mean, some would say that, Fran, yes, the Spurs fans will just forget, because people are very naive and people are very hypocritical. And when it suits them, they want to change their minds, etc. and things like that. I get that. I understand that. We all are, you know, entitled to change our minds, change our beliefs. That's the whole point of growing. I get that. But he's done so much for Spurs. I think it was the right thing to allow him to go. I really do. And no one's really won here. People would say, well, you know, Daniel Levy's won, Fran, but because he never had his hands on the money. It's exactly what my friend said. I said, no one's really won here. But on the flip side, Daniel Levy never had the cash. So he never lost the cash. So he's in no better or no worse. In fact, he's in a better situation if he's keeping Kane in his eyes, because he's not lost anything. He's not lost any cash and he's not lost any player. So I just think that it's a little bit, I would say, wrong. But again, it's the power of powerful people. That's how they do business. So for me, Harry Kane and his brother have been absolutely slapped up, bullied into a corner and being told exactly what's going to go off. And you best get on with a job, or simple as that. I don't care. I'll ruin you. That's what it seems like. Simple as that. And the people that I've spoken to, they've said Daniel Levy is a very, very hard man to deal with. And history would tell you that History would tell you that. So Ashton's put, it's deceptive. Machiavellian, like, which is why it's interesting. Political books are really interesting reads. Yeah, and a lot of these people do read these kind of books. DJ Dre's put, agreed, friend. Kane wasting his time. He is okay with no trophies. Kane is a fool for his decision. Spiderweb cabinet. Big up, friend. Keep up the great content. And always, as always. If I was City, I would buy Mbappe. But would he go there? Now, we will get onto Mbappe. Is that an option? How base is what business is ruthless. Some people are cutthroat. Big cutthroat. Junior Bloodfire has put, big up Fran Blessings. Really appreciate that. Buenos Aires has put, Fran, with City giving up on Kane for now, do you see after Aubameyang? And I think that's definitely going to come into our chat. I can tell you that. Can only make this one about 30 minutes. Son needs to play on his Switch for 15 minutes before he goes bed. And he wants me to play with him. So I've got to do that before we get back on for the watch along. So Spurs fans, from what I hear, seems to be thrilled being treated in this fashion, laugh out loud. It's very strange. Spurs fans, realistically, you're going to get the odd one who's going to be, I don't agree in this. He wanted to leave, blah, 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 blah. You're going to get that. But all he has to do is score, hat trick, something like that. And all of a sudden, everyone forgets about him. And he's one of our own. He's one of our own. And all that stuff that they shout. Kane shot himself in the foot, agent-wise, 100%. I'm only giving my brother to be a football agent. And by the way, my two brothers could not be football agents. They would go in there and threaten every chairman with some serious nonsense if they did not get what they wanted to get. So my brothers as agents would be a serious no. But I'm only going to allow that if they understand the footballing industry, because even though I understand the footballing industry, when it comes to negotiations, when you're playing, you don't want to be dealing with negotiations and then having to tell your brother or your uncle or your dad or your mother or your wife in some certain in some circumstances how to structure and break down and be hardball when it comes to a deal. You don't want to do that. So yeah, definitely hitting his foot with giving his brother the agent. Bring on the oil money. Khalifa bin Hamid bin Abdullah bin Jazim bin Mohammed Al Thani. I think I've got that one right. Dwayne's put greetings, Fran. Greetings, Dwayne. Really do appreciate it. Junior Bloodfire has put, sometimes on MSN have to make a hard decision, a tough one, but it has to be made. This is one he will say, I should have left. Another Craig's flying, by the way. Harry Kane made a huge mistake by staying, and he's put another super chat in. By the way, Craig, listen, the love that I'm getting from you at the moment, my wife might say someone's paying me off with those super chats. Absolutely love it. And it's amazing that we've got to super chats quite quickly. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Really do appreciate that. Never knew his brother was his agent. Yes, brother was it. I didn't think he used to be. And then he became his agent because all he needs is one client, don't he? All he needs is the deal that he did for Harry Kane has now set him up as to be a millionaire. And if he does one more deal, it's a millionaire. Stone Island Don has put, Fran, do you think we get a result tonight? I'm not going to be popular and I'm going to tell you the truth because, I like to tell you the truth. I think we will get beat tonight. I'm sorry. I can't refund the super chats, Craig. I am sorry. But I think we could get beat tonight, and that is not good. Super chat, £16 total. Whoa, that was PS5 costing, Franny. Almost there. We got a long way to go, mate. But hey, listen, compound effect. £2, £1, £3, compound effect over the course of a period of time, as you know. So it's all positive. Albisus, but from with all respect, your bros will take leave of their Rolls Royce and pull up on the doorstep in all black. Listen, if you knew my two brothers, yo, listen, I can't even go into it. We'll leave it at that, Albisus, but you know how it go. Sean Mitchell put, I sound crazy, but I think Spurs work better without Kane. Interesting fact that a few people have said that. That they think Spurs are better. And that happens quite a lot. That happens when your main player goes. All of a sudden, everyone can try and do, I don't know, I think when certain players play, I remember when Peter Crouch was saying, when he played, people automatically went long and forgot about playing short. So maybe Spurs at times automatically just look for Kane when sometimes, and a lot of the time, they've got a better options on. So you make a good point there, Sean. You make a really good point. Curtis opened the flood doors with that super chat. He really did, man. Big love to Curtis. Didn't know that you can put a poll on YouTube. listen, I've been doing my research. I started it today. I can't see it because I'm on StreamYard when I do you. I can have YouTube on my screen, but I don't. I try to have news or try to have a little bit of research on the screen. However, yeah, you can do YouTube polls. Yeah, it's big. Fran, you're funny, man. Hey, listen, we tried to be funny. We tried to be excited. We tried to be calm, zenned out. That's how we tried to be in here. Harry, got a feeling we can see the couple. They have scored 11 in 5. I mean, I can see them scoring. I can see West Brom scoring. I really can. So let's move on to the Mbappe one. Let's move on to the Mbappe one. Apparently, Real Madrid, 160 million euros, 135 million bid for Paris Saint-Germain forward Kylian Mbappe. Official. It's a bid, people. It's official. That every time I do that, I forget it's there, and someone's gonna clip me in the chin. So apologies if I react a little bit. I do not have anything wrong with me. It's just at the mic, I forget that it's there. So let's pop that up a bit. That might work. But when I go like that, but poof, hit one of the big bottom rubber lips, and bang, I'm finished. So we need to need to remind myself that that's a mic and it's not anything else that's going to thump me in my face. So 137 million for Kylian Mbappe. I mean, where the hell have they got this money from? They were $1 billion in debt, and now they want to pay 137 million for a player and probably pay him 300 to 350 grand a week. Where they get the money from? I don't get the way they say they're broke. It's like one of those, when you got one of those friends. You got one of those friends that always says they're broke when they're with you. And then when they're not with you, when you check their social media, they are flossing. But when they're broke, they're with you. They never got their money. That's how Real Madrid are moving at the moment. It's a very, very strange way to move. It really, really is. But hey, apparently they've offered him. Obviously, we know Mbappe is absolutely frightening. He scored 133 goals in 174 games. Yes, he's playing for the best team. Yes, some would say that he's not really challenged. He's still young. But obviously, Leonardo is saying that they do not want to sell him. But they can't really stand in his way because at the end of the day, he only has a year remaining on his deal. 1 year remaining on his deal. And Real Madrid are willing to pay 137 million pound. You've got to snap their hands off. He wants to be the big dog, and I can understand he's in Fashion FC at the moment. He's in fully Hollywood FC. He's not. People talk about him, but if he goes to Real Madrid, he's going to be the main man at Real Madrid. And I heard a rumor. I don't know how true it is, but Neymar left Barcelona because of the Messi situation. I actually don't believe that, because the way that he was playing with Messi and the way that he was playing himself, I don't actually believe that, to be honest. Junior Bloodfights, but Fran, I know, Fran, how it used to be, as you said, a young man, laugh out loud. Your brothers would get Levy to make the deal. The deal would happen, trust me. But we can't move like that. We can't move like that. So, yeah. I just think that this is an absolute crazy deal. If the player wants to leave, it must be under our terms, says Leonardo. This applies not just to Kylian, but all players, Leonardo is saying. Again, I get where he's coming from. He has to be under his terms. Of course, they're the ones in power. However, with Mbappe only having 1 year left, there is a lot of power in Mbappe's hands. Joe's put, would you and Curtis do a watch along together today? I don't think we are, because Curtis was saying, we spoke about it before, but basically sometimes his stream and my stream or other people's streams, he was saying that it lags. And either I can be ahead of him or he could be ahead of me or anyone else that wants to do a watch along with him. And it can kind of mess up the stream. So that's why he was saying he does most of the watch alongs on his own. And I get that. Sometimes a little lag in technology could probably cause it a little bit of a problem, to be honest. So I fully understand that. But we are on tomorrow. We're supposed to do a little wrap up tomorrow kind of stuff. So I'll speak to him again. As a Liverpool fan, I had no faith in getting him happy. He sold the fans hope. Yeah, smash the likes. DJ Dre is saying 99%, 99. Yes, Kane made a mistake. No, Kane didn't make a mistake. Are the Gunner is saying Kane didn't make a mistake, people? See, the thing is, it's all right saying he made a mistake by staying there. But did he have any other option? That's probably why he's had to do what he's got to do. I don't think he had any other option. Franham Skin now with them super chats. Harry wants that Madrid number 9. Wants that Madrid number 7. Interesting. Fran, are the football club's financial books available for supporters to see? Like every business, curved glass. Everything is off tax. Everything is against tax, offshore tax, expenses, all these kind of things. And I don't actually think they're made public. I know a lot of companies, especially the big companies, I think that are on the stock market, and I'm sure they had to go public. They don't have to go public if they buy Bitcoin, apparently. That's another question. That's another video. But yeah, I'm not sure what maybe some documents have to go public, but I'm not sure what you see. PSG want access to 160 million because they're still paying Monaco. Right, I get it. How can you can move like that, Fran? The mafia move like that in the corporate US mafia do move like that big time. And don't get me wrong. Listen, I was in Dubai for a while, as you know, and people, white collar crime, that's how they move. That's why people go missing and things like that. Trust me, you know how it go, eh? Investigation needed into where Real Madrid got their money from. At least 150 million they will have to pay. I mean, it's strange. You've got Edu under investigation, some kind of nonsense. These teams like Real Madrid and Man City, apparently they're under investigation still, I believe. The problem is, as soon as you pay them off, hey, listen, if I'm under investigation and I know the man at UEFA, or I know the man at the bank even, which has happened in the past, I can give him a brown envelope, and all of a sudden, that little thing is just a click of a button, and it's vanished. Absolutely vanished. If there's enough people on the payroll, those things can vanish, as you know. The world that we live in, people, it's a very, very corrupt world. But you got to be loving in your soul, and you got to make sure that you're not corrupt as much as you can be. That's how I try and live now, but I'm far, far away from being where I want to be. I can tell you that. Fiorentina confirming the loan for Torreira with option to buy. Well, I'm glad that is an option to buy. However, it's not compulsory that they have to buy, I've heard. So if they don't want to buy him, they don't want to buy him, you know. If he's poor for 2 years, or a year, then what? Kane said he wants to win trophies. How can you not say it's not a mistake? He's made a mistake for me. He's made a huge mistake by not pushing this through, going on a little bit more ruthless, standing his ground. And you know what? You've got to remember, Daniel Levy does not care if Kane wins or loses trophies. Daniel Levy does not care when Kane's career is over in 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years. Daniel Levy does not care at 40 what Harry Kane is doing. Harry Kane cares. Harry Kane needs to care what he will be doing at 40. Okay? He needs to care. So for me, you've got to say, I fully understand that I've signed that contract, but if you did give me a gentleman's agreement, I'm not coming training until that gentleman's agreement comes into fruition. And if you don't want to play me, or you want to continue to fine me, then fine. Because I'm a multimillionaire. You can fine me as much as you want, but you told me that I was allowed to do X, Y, Z. Now, we don't know the details of this gentleman's agreement. We also don't know what's going to happen over the next, 2-3 weeks. An offer could come in from Man City over the next 48 hours. And all of a sudden, Daniel Levy could turn around and say, you know what? I've accepted the offer. He's now going to leave. Would not surprise me, you know? But that's how I would have done it. I'm sorry, and some people don't agree. Would I have done that now? Of course not. I'm a lot wiser now. I'm a lot more intelligent now. I'm a lot more self-developed now. I would have gone about it in a completely different way. However, 10, 13 years ago, 100% when I was Kane's age, that's exactly what I would have done. I would have teared the roof down to get that move. No doubt about it. Fran, do you think Ronaldo will move as well? We're going to speak about Ronaldo. Curtis doesn't have time to watch the matches on stream. Too many jokes incoming. Yeah, Curtis tends to have loads of jokes coming in. I try and, you know me, I try and give as much on the game as possible. But you can easily get led into jokes. There's no doubt about that. Fran, that comment I made was the voting result from the poll. Yeah. I've seen that. I was only on because I don't look at the poll. I wait till the end to check out the poll. Albies, the King of Spain took a loan or sold something to fund Real Madrid expenses. Moist. Jermaine, hello. By the way, Jermaine, I wanted to get you on. So this is my mate Jermaine. Is he getting on? He sent me a voice note. Let me have a listen to this voice note because he's probably busy. He has to keep his emotions in check, Jermaine, he's saying. I'm not surprised either. This is what he's saying in his WhatsApp, in his voice note. Is he coming on? I don't know. You want to come on, Jermaine, or you're not out? Let me know if you want to come on, Jermaine. By the way, everyone, Jermaine is a good friend of mine, fellow Knots. He's an actor, does well, been in Mission Impossible, etc., things like that. So big up everyone in the chat. This is Jermaine. Jermaine, you got to welcome into the community, mate. But he's a Liverpool fan. So if you want to come on, let me know. Let me know. But yeah, there's a lot going on. So right, Mbappe, Kane, they're all done. Now, with Man City not being able to get Kane, now does this open the door for Aubameyang? Is this just all paper talk? What's going on left, right, and center? Yeah, it'll come on. Right then, let me go on here and send him. This could be interesting. This could be interesting, people. Let me send him. Let me get this on my computer here. He could get emotional, people. He could get really emotional. Link devices. Here we are. Let's go here. Let's have a look. Let's try and get him on here, people. Forgive me if I'm trying to do two things at once. Here we go. Right then. Let's invite him on. Let's invite him on and let's see if he can get on. Yeah. Let's have a look. Why is it not working? Why is it not working? It's not working. Wait there a minute. Why is that not working? Here we are. Sorry, people. I'm trying to get this to work. Edit. Paste. Right. There he is. There we go. There we go. There we go, people. So, right. Aubameyang, right? I just think this is all paper talk. I've got to be honest. I really, really do think this is all paper talk. I don't believe for 1 minute that Aubameyang is going to just go and Arsenal are going to pay off his wages, because someone said a good point the other day. Well, Robbie was saying on AFTV this morning that he thinks Aubameyang wants to stay. Aubameyang clearly does not want to stay, in my opinion. Going off experience, going off body language. Aubameyang does not want to stay at this football club. Now, I believe that if they get the right money for him, he can go. I believe that if someone wants to take him on loan and pay half his wages, I think he will go. And that's where Man City, interesting, that's where Man City comes into the question of, will Man City think, right, we will pay half of Aubameyang's wages, and we know Arteta is, best friends with Pep, etc., things like this. So will he try and push him forward? It seems that way. Right then, here we go. Listen, here we go. Let's bring this guy in here now. What's happening?
Talk to me, brother.
Get rid of that.
All, big up to all your subscribers and followers, man. Please keep supporting my boy Franny Green, yeah, because he's doing bits out here. A legend in the game of ex-professional football now. Bless up to what you're doing, Franny. Real talk, fam.
Now, listen, we've got a nice little community out over here. Honestly, we're growing quick. We've got a great community. Everyone, even if there's little balanced arguments, everyone is saying that we have, like, how can I put it? Very respectful disagreements and very respectful agreements. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
eventually, as we grow, we're gonna get some idiots in here. We know that.
Yeah.
But the community will deal with them. That's no problem. The community will deal with them. Someone's called you Sol Campbell already. Listen, get used to it.
No, brother, let me tell you, listen, it's the shout for Sol Campbell. I mean, getting that, bro, from when I was still playing professional football, I used to get it from the fans. Bro, his own family, some of his own family members said, yo, the lookalike is too real, bro. Even I'm sometimes looking and thinking, shit, man.
Look at the chat. I said Henry and Campbell in the building.
Oh, my
mate, when I played against, you remember I played against Sol Campbell twice, didn't I? And he was horrible, man. Horrible. Yeah. I played against him when he was at Arsenal, and I played against him when he was at Spurs as well. I've got a picture somewhere at Spurs, and it was tough. It was tough.
He looks like a monster, bro, out there.
Yeah, monster. And Keon played in that game. And apparently I was speaking to, who was I speaking to? I think I was speaking to Franny Jeffers at the time. And Jermaine Pennant was there then. And he said, it was saying, Fran, he goes in every morning and bench presses. Or stacks every machine. One set of reps, stacks every machine, then comes out and trains and just in people's faces. Them defenders.
He's on smoking it. If a man's doing that before training, he knows I'm smoking it.
I said Joe Budden and Pusha T. Get ready for the banter, mate.
Look like it's getting worse, you know.
I love it. Absolutely love it. The chat's on fire, mate. The chat is on absolute fire. So yeah, we've already spoke about it. We moved on, but I'll go back to it. You sent me a very emotional voice note about Harry Kane. So for me, I think there's always a balance in it. I think his agent, like you said, if me knows his agent, it goes completely different way. If there was a gentleman's agreement and that was true, for me, knowing the way I was and the way you was when you played, I'm tearing the whole building down. I'm causing chaos in the dressing room. I'm taking weeks' wages fine. Yeah. If the man's gave me agreement. If he hasn't gave me agreement, I would have probably still gone a little bit mad and been infectious around the dressing room, etc. Yeah. But I would have come round knowing that, wait a minute, I've reacted in the wrong way, and the club does have the right to keep hold of me. So what do you think about the situation? Because the chat don't know. So what do you think?
Well, bro, you know what? Like, on a real, because like it's, I won't even say it's twofold. It's about 4 or 5-fold, this situation here. Because first things first, Harry Kane's the kind of person where if he's telling to people, look, my man gave me a little gentleman's agreement. It's probably been a handshake at the end of the season. Hey, look, we don't really do bits next season. You can go. You served as well. Even over a drink and a handshake, brother, the man's looked you in your face. That's enough reason on the basis of what Harry Kane has done for that club to be saying, you know what, we didn't deliver the goods, brother, you can go. And it should have just been that. That's the realness. Because at the end of the day, Harry Kane, like I said in the voice note, bro, there's nothing else my man could possibly do for that club. He's done everything. He scored a bag of goals. He's in the top 3-4 strikers in the world. What else could he have done? So as I said to you, like, I've always felt, and it's mad, let me just get this clear first, like I said, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm not even a Tottenham fan at all. But what I am a fan of is people who've got backbone and integrity. And the one thing I got with Harry Kane is that he's a man where, no disrespect to him, but I get the impression he's a little bit weak. And because he's probably had the reputation thing in his head and how people are going to perceive him, he's tried to handle this in a way where he don't want to look bad, but at the same time, he's done it at the expense of everything he's wanted for himself. At the end of the day, you come into professional football to be the best version of yourself. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You've got in order. You go in there first for yourself, for your family, for your closest people, your colleagues, and your employers. You with me? And the fans come into that. But the reality is it's still a job, Franny. Right? Yeah. And there comes a point. It's still a job, it's a job. So you have to decide, when I've served my time somewhere, I have the opportunity to go and better myself. Daniel Levy isn't gaining anything by keeping him. Nothing at all. Because now you've got a player who you know in his heart doesn't want to be there. Yeah. Luckily, because of the times they're in, believe it or not, fans are quite fickle. Give it 2 weeks, this will all be under the water, under the bridge. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, Daniel Levy's just been, like, I can swear on this, Connor.
Good lad. Try and keep it minimum.
Yeah, minimum. I will minimum, but I need to emphasize the point. Daniel Levy's been fuckery, bruv. He has. He's been out of order, bruv, because he's not benefiting anything from this at all. Yeah. And you're just holding a man back for no reason. Yeah. And it's not like. Sorry, go on.
Go on. Interesting. You know, like you're saying about Daniel Levy. You've probably read, obviously, I was talking about earlier in the stream. You've probably read the book, The 48 Laws of Power. Yeah. By Robert.
Yeah, I've read some of it.
Yeah. And when I read that book, I didn't agree with a lot of things that were in it. I couldn't get my head around it. And then when someone dissected it to me, it was another guy on YouTube, and he was saying when he was at Google, he went into Google and he was like a junior, and he sat around this table with all the big dogs on the table.
Yeah.
And he said it was like a completely different language and a different world. Right. And it was all ruthless. They was all complete. And then he started to understand the book, how powerful people have different rules,
Yeah,
different mindset, different ways.
Yeah.
So that's what Daniel Levy clearly has. And because we're not in that world, we find it hard to understand why Daniel Levy is moving the way that he moves. Because like you said, for me, what's he got out of this? People would say, well, he's kept Kane, but he's got a player who doesn't really want to be there. And for example, if Kane has a bad spell like Aubameyang, can you imagine?
Bro, it'll be embarrassing. And then it would have just furthered the point. You should have let him go.
This is interesting. So Lionel, big up to Lionel with a comment. He's saying Kane has a lot of respect to do what he's done. Do you agree?
No, I don't.
Do you think respect comes from the wrong type of person for that? If you know what I mean. So the people that respect that are probably the people that would think different. Not a winning mentality, or I don't know.
What does Lionel actually mean by that when he says Kane has a lot of respect to do for what he's done? Is he referring to the fact that he's now come out and said, look, I'm staying, I don't want to go?
I think Lionel is selling that people will respect him because he's staying at Spurs.
No. There's a difference between staying and not being allowed to go.
Because that's what's happening. He's not being allowed to go.
Right, and that's the difference.
Buenos Aires has said, why did you leave the lane, Sol?
Well, you see, I'd answer for him, but I'm not him. There's a difference, bro, between staying somewhere and not being allowed to leave. And
I think a lot of people have seen. I think a lot of people have seen that. The fact of the matter is, he's had to come out with these comments because he's not going to leave here,
right?
Unless Man City come in now with the offer that they want, and then Levy can turn and say, "Listen, I've always said that he can go for 100 and whatever million it was. Man City have now come to that valuation. We are now ready to do business." That's the only way it's going to happen now.
Yeah. And in that respect, I get it. Like he hasn't been offered what it is he wanted for him, but at the same time, like you made an agree. It's not like he said to him, "Oh, right, okay then. At the end of the season, if we get offered 150 big ones, you can go." He just said, if we don't deliver in Europe and them things there, then you can leave. If you've got a gentleman's agreement, might not be worth the paper it's printed on because it's just an agreement. But bro, there's also a moral line there as well. You've got to. This man has served your club. You've got to be able to look a man in the face and know, come on, I've done everything I said I would do. Be a man and let me move on. It's interesting
if now the Kane camp will actually release what was said in this gentleman's agreement. I don't think they will, because I think they're very soft at the belly. I don't think they've got the minerals.
They are.
I don't think they've got the minerals to do this.
Not at all. And again, with a gentleman's agreement, bro, it's like I said, bro, it could have been over a wine at the end, at some end of season party. Just a quick 2-minute conversation. That way, drinks flowing, people are talking SH1T. You can't really take it serious, but at the end of the day, the conversation still took place. What Kane has done, which I don't rate, is he's now made it almost look acceptable to not have a backbone. Because what you're showing younger footballers now and younger people is that your boss can bully you. That's one of the things he's shown, which I don't rate.
Yeah. Do you think me and you, we're from the same cloth, okay? We're from the same cloth. So we could possibly look at things in an older version way, maybe not modern football way, modern day of society, because as we know, modern day of society is very different. So younger generations are different in the way that they would, try and push and do business. Do you think that Daniel Levy has a point and he signed the contract, and regardless whether he said, I gave you a gentleman's agreement, nothing's on paper, more fool you, get on with it? What do you think about that scenario?
Yeah, that's some BS to me, bro. Why make a gentleman's agreement then? It goes back to the same point, Franny, right? The gentleman's agreement took place, and more importantly, the man has served the club.
Yeah. I mean, me, I'm with you. I'm just trying to get a balanced debate here for everyone else. You know what I mean? I think.
I appreciate that. But the reality of the situation is that when you've upheld your end of a bargain, then there's nothing else for you to do now to just receive what's rightfully yours. Again, Daniel Levy hasn't gained anything from this, which means you've only been moving from a point of view where you've just wanted to be difficult.
Yeah.
Because you said that nobody's won out of this situation. Daniel Levy is the only person that's won out of this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what would be if Kane, like you said, maybe because it's more of a modern day football thing. In fact, you know what? I have to respectfully disagree with that, Franny, because I bet you there's some players, even in the game now, they want to tuck that. I can imagine.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I reckon someone like, random name at the top of my head, Pogba, no chance. He's not having.
He wouldn't do that.
Him and his agent should have been sorted a month ago.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let me think of, there's a lot of players who would be the way that we would have dealt with the business 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I do think that Kane has had to, Curtis is in the chat, big up Curtis, big love.
Oh man, like Curtis Shaw, you know.
Legends in the building, mate.
All kinds of nominations.
It's fault.
He's subscribing channels, mate. Curtis got a few little nominations there, yeah?
Yeah, we've got to nominate Curtis for the best content creator, mate. You've got to nominate him. Curtis has put, big up my brothers. He said, it's Kane's fault. Should have been written in the contract. Can't trust the chairman's word. 100%. You got to have it written in the contract.
No, again, I agree, right? But you've got to take every situation on its merits. Kane is not just another player at Spurs. He's literally the heartbeat of that club. He's not, no disrespect to Højbjerg, but he's not that player. You know what I mean? He's the face of the club. The man is has been integral into who they are now, and more importantly, he's been respectful throughout the years he's been there. On those reasons alone, Franny, and the fact he delivered, you should be letting him go. So when it comes down to but it wasn't on paper and all them things there, like that can't really wash with me, because Kane is not just any type of player. And those things have to be taken into consideration.
I get you. I am with you, but I have to push you on these questions.
I appreciate that.
I got to push you on these questions, because people in the chat are going to have mixed. You know, most people are going to agree with the fact that, listen, it's a little bit soft. You know, he should have obviously teared the house down. He should basically have got his way. Then there's some people who will think maybe no, he's contracted regardless of the gentleman's agreement. He's getting paid an absolute fortune. He should be doing this. He should be doing that, and he should get on with it. So that's what you're always going to say. People are always going to have different opinions about it. But for me, I think that he's made a huge mistake. I think he's made a huge mistake, and he may not get this opportunity to ever play for a club of that size again.
And that is the thing above all of this, Franny, that surprises me the most as to why man's moving so moist. Because when he had that interview with Gary Neville, look at the way he was talking. Man's talking about wanting to be like one of the best strikers in the world. He should be getting real top blood. He should be at least contending for the Ballon d'Or because of his strike rate and them kind of things. That's how he was talking with Gary Neville, bro, before the end of the season.
Yeah.
How them things aren't happening staying at Spurs?
But in his head, though, he's thinking this gentleman's agreement
was enough to get
is going to be blessed.
Yeah.
And we don't know, by the way, you know, when it was kind of off on the England situation, we don't know whether that was going on in the scenes and he knew that Daniel Levy there was arguing about this gentleman's agreement. We don't know if that was the case, because that's going to affect him when he's playing in the Euros. Because all these little things, you know what I mean? All these little things going on. He's like, well, his brother, who seems like the worst agent, is
like I said to you, bro. His brother is just a rounder version of him. Like, let's just keep it 100, bro. His brother, like them, as I said, imagine them two sat in a meeting with Daniel Levy. He's sat there looking at them two, thinking, "You're not serious. Like, your brother's your agent. You've got no backbone. Your brother clearly hasn't got no backbone. Like, is anybody in here like got any strength for character in here? No, you haven't. Come out my office. You wasting my time. It's a joke thing, bro. And
that's powerful people,
right?
That's powerful people. Yeah.
Plus, Levy's got a history, bro, of being difficult. He tried a thing on Gareth Bale when he didn't want to let him go. Same with Modric. So Harry Kane was more than aware, and I think he's like, I think he's kind of possibly took it for granted that Levy would let him go, but also didn't realize that this guy is likely to switch as well. Because I genuinely think Levy's a man who's got ego problems. I really do.
100%,
You get
100%.
that?
They don't know how to deal with this egotistical behavior that they have, which surprises me because they're very educated people.
Yeah.
So I would think that they would kind of, but maybe they don't think they've got an ego. Maybe they just think that's how business works, and this is how you like it or you don't.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so it's a strange one, but anyway, Bun Kane will move on because
Yes.
people in here, you know, Bun Kane.
course.
I might as well keep you on. Are you busy?
No, it's all, man.
Only got another 10, 15 minutes anyway, so I might as well go for the full hour. Junior Bloodfire, he's popped in. He's put, Fran, if you get a huge deal with Sky Sports and you can only be on your channel for 2 days a week and you don't take the deal, I wouldn't respect you. Kane is weak. Yeah,
there you go, innit?
exactly.
Come on.
Kane's moving soft. Rion's saying, Talk Trend is saying, what happens if Arsenal lose tonight? This is interesting. So, as a Liverpool fan, by the way, everyone, Jam's a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, man. And Anfield till I die, mate.
Anfield to you. I think How Beast is a Liverpool fan as well in the chat. So, as you know, a lot of it on here is Arsenal content because I'm Arsenal, but we do try and cover as much as we can with other clubs, etc. when we have more time and that. So, from the outside, Liverpool, you're looking at Arsenal now. What do you see?
Club in crisis, bro. And that's been generous. Like, I've always been a secret Arsenal fan, bro. Like, just from the 90s and the way they play ball. But again, the theme of what we've been chatting about has been structure and backbone. And it's clearly obvious that Arsenal, like, there's nobody in that club, in the club who's actually even cares about the direction the club's heading. You can, all right, and put it this way, you know, man, like Aubameyang and Lacazette, you know they're running a madness in that changing room and in that club. You know they're moving around that space like they're the chairman. You know that for a fact.
100%.
Right? So that's already
100%.
problems.
Yeah.
And again, Arteta, I don't know the brother, I've never met him, but you can just tell by the way he speaks and he couldn't buy a backbone, bruv. Like, and moving cones around for Guardiola doesn't make you a coach. Like, I'm sorry, like, you haven't done enough to walk into a club as like a boss man and move Arsenal into the spaces that they should be operating in. Yeah. I think there was a brother from Spotify, I think, who tried to buy Arsenal.
Yeah, Daniel Ek.
Yeah. You could just tell this man was serious about the club, bro. The club should have got sold to him, no talk, like straight away. Because, you know, and that's the realness of it. People who've got an invested interest in Arsenal clearly do not care about that club anymore, bro. You can see that. And then again on the pitch, like, I mean, to be fair, Xhaka is probably in my mind, the nearest thing Arsenal have got to any kind of a leader. And I don't even get the impression he's that respected at the club, to be honest. Maybe he's not the greatest baller, but he's got a little bit of something about him. But the club is just like, it's just floating downstream, bro, with no direction, nothing. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I listen, everyone in the community, every Arsenal fan thinks the same. It's just from top to bottom, it's just going downhill and downhill. And no one has any backbone. No one has any authority. No one has. I actually think the Kroenkes, you know, we've been in football clubs. We've been in football clubs before where the money guy is getting his pants pulled down by everyone else below him. Yeah. And he don't know. Yeah. He trusts the guy below him. But the guy below him is, I've been in clubs and I've even been in offices when football directors, sporting directors have blatantly been saying, don't worry, I'll get you that, but you make sure you give me this. Yeah,
mismanagement of funds.
You know what I mean? But the top guy don't really care. Yeah, I'm not saying that's happening, but for us to be in that much of a shambles, they are definitely clueless at the top. They must be clueless at the top. And you're never going to get them out. If they're making profit, why are they going to leave if they're making profit? It doesn't matter what you do to them. They're not going to leave. But then to appoint the people that they're appointing is unbelievable. Like Arteta, Arteta is a rookie. Yeah. He never had a job before. Yeah. So it's for example, you know, you've been in the acting game for how long now?
TV wise, probably about 7 years.
And how long did it take you to get a decent gig?
About 6.5.
About six and a half
to get my
years.
first leading role,
of train tickets, driving, hotels, auditions, no money for rent, and find all those things. 6 years. This guy gets a job at Arsenal Football Club without no experience.
Yeah.
From day one, it was going to be a disaster. Then you've got Edu, who was travel agent and concierge for Brazil, I think, or whatever he was doing. He's now the guy who's sporting director and all this nonsense in the club.
Yeah.
So
bringing money for all the wrong reasons.
I always get a balanced argument. I always say, listen, he's in the job. They've given him a project. They think he's the right man. He's the right man for 5 million. Blah, 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 blah. I always try and give a balanced argument. But it gets to the point where you can't be positive for the sake of being positive. And you know me and you talk away from here about life, affirmations, meditations, everything. We talk a lot away from here. But we're not just going to fluff up and say, oh, well, it's going to be all right because of that. It has to have substance. It has to have substance. It has to be dissected down into sections and say, well, right then, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. And so this conversation will start because if they lose tonight, he's not going to get the sack. But would you sack him?
I mean, well, to be fair, bruv, like I kind of look at it like, you know, the situation with Man U, say like 2-3 years ago, when there were very different managers coming in and out, the club was just on a madness. You didn't really know what was going on. Somehow, Solskjaer slipped in the job and started off all right. Then it went a bit wiry, but then something happened and they seemed to be kind of possibly sorting something out. I see Arsenal like in that situation, how Man U were about 3-4 years ago, where they're just all over the place. But the thing is, with Solskjaer, at least he'd been at a couple of other clubs trying.
He'd done a little bit of work, didn't he? Yeah.
All right, and he wasn't walking in off the reputation of having just moving like cones and bibs around for Guardiola. That's because that's not enough a reason to give a man a job. But I honestly think, I don't know if it would work, but Arsenal need to bring in like a manager that has got so much fire on his CV that it would force the, like, you know, like Antonio Conte, one of them kind of man, where the people upstairs would be like, oh shit, if my man's in charge, we need to put hands in our pockets, like no playing now. But it's whether they would have the backbone then to support someone like that, because I think who you've got as your leaders determine the attitude of and the direction of a club. I think that's also one of the reasons why Levy didn't have a man like Antonio Conte in there as well, because he knows Conte is one of them man who don't play. If he comes in,
that's why it broke down, didn't it? It broke down because of that. Yeah.
And if I'm not getting it, I'm gone. So Arsenal need to have someone who's going to get the nuts out and just be like, listen, this club's moving mad. I need to move it in the right direction. To be honest, sacking Arteta, like, in the grand scheme of things, I don't even know what difference that would make. I don't.
Yeah, I think the only difference it makes is you're going to get a bounce, probably. You're going to get the set of players may be happy that he's out the building, because it seems like these players do not like him.
Yeah.
And they don't want to play for him. If someone else comes in and he builds that kind of relationship very early.
Yeah. I think it's more about who you get in as opposed to just getting him out. Because because to sack someone, just like, you know, what, you're going to sack him and then have someone just floating around as the temporary interim manager for 3 weeks.
No, it's got to be real.
It's got to be real, bro.
And I think because there ain't many on the market, it's helping him.
Yeah.
It's helping him stay in his job because there ain't many on the market.
Yeah.
Who are you going to go for? You know?
That's the truth.
Who's going to come to Arsenal now?
Okay, let me ask you that then. Who genuinely is available right now who could possibly, if they wanted the job, like you've got Zidane?
So me and Curtis and everyone in the chat was on about this the other day, and me. So basically, let's put it this way: if they would go and say, right, we can't do this, we're going to get left miles behind. We need to throw some cash at a manager now. Okay, then me, you got to go for Conte. Ten Hag's name always flies around. All right. I actually like the guy at Southampton as well.
Oh
what's his name?
Hansel Tyler.
Hansel,
like that.
I don't know. Yeah. Hansel and Gretel. We'll call him Hansel and Gretel. Anyway, right.
Yeah, you don't manage it.
If you can go for someone with, you're not going to get Brendan Rodgers. So I was saying, who could you go for realistically? And the only people you could go for realistically, if you was only going to spend the 5 million or the 6 million, whatever you're going to spend now, is a Graham Potter, if he would leave for that money from Brighton, because I like the way that he plays, and Eddie Howe. And they're the only two that you could go for.
I think
But
that's why you got to go. That's why you got to put your hands in your pocket further. I don't think in this Arsenal situation, like the problem is there's a problem on the pitch, but the problems behind the scenes are way bigger. You need a marquee name in that dugout.
Luis Enrique. Ashton's saying a Luis Enrique.
That's
People
the
like
levels
that.
you need to be talking.
Listen, all of a sudden that gives everyone a huge. You know what it's like.
Come on.
When a manager comes in, I was like, "Yo, he don't mess around," you know.
Yeah. That's what they need. Yeah.
But so, like you say, if you was to get rid of Arteta, you could only go for a Potter or Eddie Howe or someone abroad.
So are you saying financially that's the situation Arsenal
financially, financially. Right. But if they was to say, right, no, done, this is what I'm going to do now. We need a manager of the Arsenal way, but we need some kind of character to get us where we need to get to. We're going to throw 20 million at 25 million at a manager, and we're going to give him, 100 million to spend, which they won't because they've just spent 130 million on a reserve team. But that's the only way you're going to get the manager. And I don't think that they will do that knowing that they've just gave Arteta 130 million. I just don't think they're going to do it. That's the problem.
And then that tells you then what are the real motivations behind the club. Because if you're not prepared to do that, then as a club at that level, like, why? Because even now, bro, obviously Arsenal are still a top 6 club. They're still in that space. But it's either now, you've got to be talking like either there's a top 7, including you got to kind of throw Leicester in there because Leicester have done enough, I think, for years to show that, or have Leicester replace them. I think
Leicester, as an Arsenal fan, and I don't think many people would argue that at the moment Leicester have definitely replaced it. Most people would back that Leicester are definitely going to finish in the top 6.
Yeah.
Most people would back that.
Right.
So they have taken our place.
And so to me, depending on how much these men who are in charge of Arsenal care about the club, I'm saying you need to find some change to go and get someone mad like a Zidane, or someone who's just going to like make you think, oh, you know what, these men do actually care about it.
Zidane, a lot of people talk about Zidane, but do you think Zidane would work or be good enough with these players? These players are nowhere near the level that he's used to working with.
True.
I don't even think it would work.
Well, yeah, true. But then look at the things that Benitez, bro, went to Newcastle.
I like Benitez.
That's what I'm saying. And look at the levels he's worked at. Ancelotti went to Everton, bro. And he's a man who sometimes they need a healthy challenge like that as well. And it would, like you said, as Zidane walks in that change rooms there, man are fixing up.
Oh, even
the chairman and everybody would fix up. Everybody would fix up, bro.
20%.
Come on. They need to, if they're serious about the club and the direction they're heading, it needs to be somebody on those kind of levels, man.
Yeah, I get it. I fully get you, Jam. And listen, we have Arsenal therapy with Curtis. There's, as you know, there's loads of Arsenal channels. We're in the community every day. We're baffled. We try and keep it positive. We try and keep it balanced, and we just see everything else going around us. But listen, I'm nearly done now anyway. So thanks ever so much for coming on. Your input was spectacular. Everyone in the chat. Jam's quiet on social. He's like Black James Bond. He keeps his stuff quiet. Key, man, you don't really know where he's at. So, but yeah, Jam, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and I'll speak to you later on this evening, pal. Okay?
Yes. Yeah, man.
You take care, man. Appreciate that. So there we go. Jam's come on, which was a good one. I didn't know it was going to last that long, people. I really didn't. A couple of your questions. I like the look of the Celtic manager. Yeah, he's been questioned a little bit. Big up, man. Top stream, Franny. Big up, everyone. Leicester got stuffed 4-1. Chris is reminding us. Yeah. Even when Liverpool were bad, all they did was get a proper technical director. Look at them now. Yeah, technical director could be important. You know, sentiment saying Vine's a rookie. Structure needs to be sacked. Sponging wages for a decade. Gazidez Jr., etc. Ashton's put big up to yourself. Absolutely unbelievable. And you know what, people with the streams? We never know what's going to happen. So I'm back on. I'm back on for the watch along in a minute. So I'm going to see you again. I'm going to go make sure my son's okay. And then I will see you about 7:45, people. So again, appreciate your time. And it is absolutely golden. So I'll see you at 7:45.